In May 2025, a sudden aerial escalation occurred between two neighboring nuclear-armed countries in South Asia. The conflict, though brief and limited in geographic scope, resulted in one of the most significant shifts in the perception of regional airpower in recent history. The incident involved direct engagement between 4th and 4.5 generation fighter jets, supported by early warning aircraft, radar networks, electronic warfare systems, and long-range air-to-air missiles. Independent and state-aligned defense analysts, foreign military officers, and political leaders within the region all confirmed that at least 5 advanced fighter jets from one side were lost during the operation. Among these, the Rafale fighter jet, considered one of the most capable multirole aircraft in the world, was confirmed to have been shot down. The confirmation came from the chief of the French Air and Space Force during a military aviation conference in Europe, marking the first known combat loss of a Rafale anywhere in the world. He also acknowledged that other Indian-origin aircraft, specifically a Mirage 2000 and Su-30MKI, were also downed. While the exact method of the Rafale's destruction remains debated, the French defense manufacturer Dassault Aviation later stated that a possible system malfunction may have contributed, but they did not deny the combat loss. The overall admission by French military officials created significant international attention, particularly due to the Rafale's global export reputation. In addition to the Rafale, a MiG-29 and a second Su-30MKI were also reported lost by independent analysts and defense insiders. A pattern emerged in which multiple aircraft were reportedly shot down while flying within friendly or disputed airspace. Analysts from private firms, including those using data from satellite imagery Maxar, Planet Labs observed anomalies in base traffic and heat signatures consistent with emergency recovery and crash site cleanup operations at forward bases. The effectiveness of the attacking side was largely attributed to their use of Chinese-supplied J-10CE fighter aircraft, supported by PL-15 long-range air-to-air missiles. These missiles are capable of engaging targets at well over 200 kilometers, using active radar homing and advanced data link systems. According to Western military analysts, the PL-15 provides a significant range advantage over missiles like the Indian-origin Astra or even the Meteor under certain radar and jamming conditions. This allowed the attacking fighters to launch their missiles from standoff ranges, without needing to visually acquire the target or enter engagement zones where Indian aircraft could effectively retaliate. Open-source defense experts noted that many of the engagements appear to have taken place at high altitude and long range, likely between 70 to 120 kilometers, where radar tracking and data link support gave the attackers first launch advantage. The defending aircraft, including the Rafale and Su-30MKI, are technologically advanced but reportedly did not receive full situational awareness in real time, possibly due to gaps in airborne early warning coverage or electronic countermeasures interference. The situation became more politically visible when a senior political figure, Rahul Gandhi, leader of the main opposition party, openly criticized the sitting government in parliament, stating, "If you had listened to me earlier, you wouldn't have lost 5 jets." His statement was widely covered by domestic and foreign media and viewed as an indirect confirmation of previously denied aircraft losses. The government did not officially reject his claims point by point, leading analysts to believe that the number was broadly accurate. Adding to the political implications was the involvement of Subramanian Swamy, a senior politician with a background in economics and strategic affairs. Though no longer an active member of parliament at the time of the conflict, Swamy gave a widely shared public address in which he stated that strategic rigidity, outdated command protocols, and over-reliance on Western airframes had contributed to the loss. He emphasized that the enemy had used superior tactics by leveraging early warning systems, networked radar data, and standoff-range missiles more effectively. He was also critical of what he described as India's doctrinal inflexibility, which he said prevented real-time tactical adaptation. In Indonesia, at a security event hosted at a national defense university, an Indian defense attaché, Captain Shiv Kumar, admitted that the IAF had faced unusual constraints during the early phases of the operation and suffered losses consistent with restricted engagement orders. Though the remarks were made at a closed-door academic seminar, local defense journalists reported them in regional media. The Indian government did not directly deny the comments, but sources close to the military later claimed the remarks were taken out of context. Internationally, former NATO planners and RAND Corporation analysts reviewed the engagements and found that while India held technological superiority in terms of radar range and sensor fusion on platforms like the Rafale, these advantages were not decisive when facing well-integrated radar networks and long-range missile threats. The defending side may also have been surprised by the speed and coordination of the J-10CE deployment, which was supported by ground-based tracking and airborne surveillance platforms. No visual evidence such as wreckage footage or combat video was released by either side, but radar logs, intercepted audio, and telemetry graphs were shown during post-event military briefings. Independent verification by civilian defense analysts supported the broad outlines of the event, including engagement vectors and radio silence patterns consistent with hostile BVR engagement. The May 2025 air conflict is now considered a defining case study in the value of networked warfare, early missile launch advantage, and integrated command and control. It has led to multiple after-action reviews within the affected military, urgent procurement changes, and re-evaluation of combat readiness protocols. The psychological and strategic impact was significant. For the first time in modern history, a side operating Rafales, Su-30MKIs, and other high-end platforms was clearly outmaneuvered in the air under live combat conditions. The episode is viewed by many in the defense community as a wake-up call on the limitations of hardware superiority when not matched by flexible doctrine, resilient networks, and operational readiness across all domains, electronic warfare, airborne detection, and rapid response coordination.